Hello, viewers from wherever you're watching us from. You're watching QTV State of Affairs program with me, Aliou Cissé, and we apologize for the delayed start to the program. Well, it is exactly 25 years, since the ECOWAS Parliament was formed. And tonight, this week, I'm joined on the program by the fourth Deputy Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, our very honorable Bilaji Tunkara, who is also the head of the Gambia's delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament. And in the program, hopefully, we'll be joined by Senator Edwin Melvin Snow Jr. Of Liberia, who is the chair of the ECOWAS Parliament's Committee on Political Affairs, Peace and Security and African Peer Review Mechanism. In the next 40 or 45 minutes, we shall be looking at exactly, how effective the ECOWAS Parliament has been. Has it actually lived up to its expectation, and what reforms are needed, as the region continues to face political, and security challenges? Honorable, thank you so much for coming on the program. To start with, give us a brief background about the ECOWAS Parliament, how it actually came into being.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aliou Cissé. And I want to, first of all, register my sincere appreciation for the invitation for deeming it fit. This is exactly 25 years, let's say 2 days ago, on the 16th of November, year 2000, ECOWAS Parliament came into being. Before going further, I think I owe it to myself to recognize our colleague parliamentarians who will be joining with us to really help us give life to this program. I want to recognize Senator Edwin Melvin Snow Jr., the chair of Political Affairs Committee in the ECOWAS Parliament, and of course, Honorable Kadi Veronica Cissé from Liberia, who is also the president of the ECOFEPA Parliament, in ECOWAS Parliament. It's important for us to know how far we've gone, to have a retrospection of what has really transpired in over these 25 years in the ECOWAS Parliament. And it's important for us to also look at its achievements vis-a-vis the challenges as well. Because in every success, of course, there are impediments that you encounter along the way. It's important for us to understand the historical background of ECOWAS Parliament. ECOWAS Parliament came to be in Mali, interestingly, year 2000, November 16th, when the idea came, and it has been as a result of a revised treaty, Article 6 and Article 13 of the ECOWAS revised treaty, for a need for us in 1994 to establish the ECOWAS Parliament. And it has the first inaugural session in Mali, Bamako, where initially every member country, the 15-member country, they designate 5 seats, and the remaining 40 seats, which is 115, remaining 40 seats shall be distributed, based on population of the country size. And they had their first ordinary session, in Abuja. And it also interests you that the first speaker was elected there, and who is a Malian, Mr. Right Honorable Speaker Ali Nuh was the first speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament. And through that, they now share the 40 seats based on population representation, and the way countries are bigger than each other. So some begin to have like 35 seats, like Nigeria, and other countries have 8 seats, some has 7 seats, some has 5 seats as well. So ECOWAS Parliament has really evolved, and the main objective of the ECOWAS Parliament is it's like a vuvuzela of the ECOWAS community, the community of the region, the 15-member country. ECOWAS Parliament will serve as a platform whereby we normally promote democracy, good governance, rule of law, and also accountability as well. And these are the cardinal principles in terms of enhancing transparency and accountability in governance. And this has really been manifested over the years. And we also had the first legislature, like I said, which was headed by Ali Nuh, and that was 2000. And later on, there was a revise, in its first inaugural session, in its first ordinary session in Abuja, whereby they revised the treaty to look at the mandate. It has been reduced from 5 now to 4 years mandate. This has been done in ECOWAS. And subsequently, second ordinary session also, which was headed by Mamman Usman from Niger. And the third, of course, legislature was headed by Senator Ikore Madu. And the fourth was of Mustafa Cissé Lo, and the fifth, of course, was our own brother, Mr. Excellency Sidi Tunis Mohammed, and the sixth now is my own boss, Ajay Ibrahim. So definitely, over the years, ECOWAS Parliament has really transformed, has really evolved, and to really, venture into representation to make sure that the voices of the community are heard, and it also deepening issue of democracy and good governance, political, reform process. We've seen that ECOWAS Parliament is now even participating in election observer mission. And ECOWAS Parliament has also served as a platform whereby to amplify, to voice out the free movements of good and person, the protocol on free movement. We normally use our committees to make sure they go down, to the countries to engage, the border personnel, the customs, on how far they're respecting the very own protocol that the head of state has signed up for. So ECOWAS Parliament has really played some key accomplishments, such as the free movement and also even peacekeeping, peace negotiation and parliamentary diplomacy. And ECOWAS Parliament, over the years, if there is any problem in any country, we normally go there to intervene. And I could remember even when our parliament also was in a problem, Senator Snow also came.
By the way, we have some B-rolls, and I hope our technical team will discuss the B-rolls about the ECOWAS Parliament. Yeah.
So we also promote issue of institutional reform and also capacity building of our NAMs. So there's a lot, of course, that ECOWAS Parliament has achieved over the years.
You try to give us a rundown of the previous speakers. From what I understand, it seems it is rotational and based on according to alphabetical order.
Yes, the speakers of ECOWAS
Senegal,
Parliament,
Sierra Leone, Togo.
Yeah, the speakers of ECOWAS Parliament is rotational, but based on alphabetical order. Okay. In sequence. And which is very interesting to make sure that every country is represented. It's not as if we're trying to be fighting to get to the leadership of ECOWAS Parliament.
So we can say next speaker is going to be Gambia?
No, Benin, because we have reached to the last country, that's Togo. Okay. The next country should be Benin.
Benin, yes. Okay. Like you said, at 25 years, in your own analysis, do you think the ECOWAS Parliament has actually lived to, up to its founding vision as the, of course, many will put it, voice of West Africa?
Yeah, ECOWAS Parliament per se is not a legislative body. We have to really understand that. It's more of an advocacy platform. It's not like we are going to pass laws. We don't really legislate laws, but we look at treaties and conventions and agreements. We look at the resolution as well. We can also, trigger, the ECOWAS Commission to really look at some pertinent issues through parliamentary resolution as well. It's not a legislative body per se, but it's more of like advocating for the rights of citizens, advocating for good governance, advocating for democracy, advocating for rule of law, deepening democratic institutions as well. That is why if you look at the setbacks, probably we'll get there. Actually, you can see you can see how the issue of political instability has retarded the ECOWAS Parliament from progressing. For instance, now once a country experiences a coup d'etat, automatically the membership withdraws. So those things are like impediment in terms of the parliamentary structure and representation of the community as well. So the political instability has really hampered the progress of ECOWAS Parliament due to its erratic withdrawal of member states. Like I said, we are discussing ECOWAS at 25, where ECOWAS has been inaugurated in Bamako and no longer with us. Yeah. We are also looking, unfortunately, we are looking at the second speaker of ECOWAS Parliament, Mama Usman from Niger. Niger is no longer with us. The first speaker, Ali Nuhu, is no longer with us. So basically, these are all setbacks to show you how political instability has really led to some of the challenges that ECOWAS Parliament is facing as well.
You mentioned the challenges, but many will say, many still describe the Parliament as largely symbolic or advisory. Yeah. Do you agree?
Yeah, of course. Like I said, it's not a legislative body, it's more of like advocacy and more for advising, advisory role to advise the commission and also to really bring up issues. Because in ECOWAS Parliament, what is really important, interesting there is that every country do send a report, a country report. We normally pick some thematic areas, your political situation, your economic situation, your human rights report, your health status, and co. So these things are really discussed, and we normally draft resolution for country's attention, to that. That has really, given it its advocacy role, in terms of knowing what is really going within the sub-region. So I think, like I said, it's not a proper legislative body, but of course, is a platform whereby we advocate for rights, of citizens in our various country, and also we also make sure that we also embark on some oversight function in making sure that countries live up to expectations. You cannot sign off a treaty like ETLS, ECOWAS Trade Liberation Scheme, have been signed up and agreed by head of states. Issue of free movement protocol, it has been signed and then agreed by head of states. Issue of ISRT, interstate road transit. These are all protocols that have been signed and agreed to ease, to really, because the whole idea about ECOWAS Parliament is about integration. Both persons and goods and services. So we cannot be at crossroads to those core values that really, created ECOWAS Parliament. ECOWAS as an institution. Because if you look at ECOWAS as an institution, they have two key driving forces. First was economic integration, and later part was issue of people in human-to-human integration. But when ECOWAS Parliament, when ECOWAS communities begin to, advance, thoughts now came in that, okay, we need to have a judicial system whereby if there's a dispute between among states, there has to be an arbiter where they can go and arbitrate. That's where the courts comes in. And after so many years of ECOWAS being in existence, then they thought of creating a parliament that serve as a platform for citizen representation.
So, do you think it is high time that the parliament is granted that full legislative, powers? And if yes, what do you think should change first?
Well, it's very important that Parliament evolve. First of all, our advocacy over the years, this thing I can't take it from the past Speaker Tunis Mohammed. He's been advocating for ECOWAS Parliament to take its central role in the community, whereby through a direct election, direct representation.
Something that he's always been advocating.
Yes. So direct representation would really give the Parliament more authority, to make sure that they have been put there by the will of the people. They have been elected directly from the communities, and they are there to make laws for the people that represent. So when that is granted, when we have that kind of powers, then every other thing will follow suit, because there is some degree of autonomy that the Parliament is enjoying, that they are no more longer there as just advocacy Parliament, but they're there with the mandate of the people who elected them directly to represent them. So once there's a representation, then from there, this tax that we collect, then we can have a say. Because if you look at the way and manner ECOWAS budget is structured, ECOWAS Parliament only gives opinion of the budget. Whether it's favorable or not favorable opinion, it doesn't really stop it from passing. So the reverse is the case in a national parliament. So that, like I said, once we achieve a direct representation, whereby your mandate is given by the people, then there has to be a mechanism in terms of how to fund the parliament and the community as a whole. So whereby there is a popular saying that there is no taxation without representation. So if we are taxing our people, we must be represented as well. So basically, I think the word go, or the key things to achieve right now, is for us to advocate for a direct representation in the ECOWAS Parliament, and also when we are elected now, we can take our full legislative mandate as far as representing people is concerned.
So with the current format, I know delegates are selected from the national assemblies. Does this in any way, affect their independence when it comes to addressing core issues even back home?
Well, it's a two-way thing, because I would say yes and no, because it doesn't really affect the member of parliament independent being in parliament. Yeah. But remember, you are there as a nation. Yeah. And in that representation as well, you are there with a different political divide, because ECOWAS Parliament does not really recognize sending members of parliament without respecting the political inclusion as well. Yeah. So every grouping or every delegate from every country, you must respect the gender, you must respect political grouping as well. So to say, anything you say there cannot be used against you, because it's like a parliament, sort of. But then I think for us to have that kind of independent and autonomy, it will be better, so that when we are directly elected there, then you can do your thing without fear or favor, ill will or affection. But if you go and say something like this current practice now, probably might not really go down well with a particular speaker or a particular head of state. So there things comes in, and you be compromised as a member of parliament, because our nations are not the same. You know, politics in our region is quite, you know, different. What is tolerated in Gambia or in Senegal might not be tolerated in Benin or any other country. So that's why you need to give them their clear-cut mandate. Once they're elected, these are the clear-cut mandates, so that at least they will uphold the oath of office that they swore in for, to make sure that they represent the people to the best of their ability without fear or favor. I
mean, you mentioned, the issue of direct election has always been top on the agenda of the former Speaker, Tunis. Is this something that the current Speaker and your bureau is pursuing as well, to ensure it is realized?
Yes. Yes, under the current leadership of Ajah Muminatu Ibrahim, Her Excellency, this is top on the agenda of our engagement, and of course it's also in the bureau as well. We're looking at it. This could be our legacy, because we are in together. Not our legacy, but as a bureau, it could be our legacy. If we achieve that, it's a big achievement, you know, that at least none of these past legislatures could achieve. So to be honest, like I said, I'm not holding the thing for Tunis, but he has really taken it to a very high level.
So how has been the support regarding this whole idea of direct election?
Yeah, it's welcome, you know, because I was also probably if Senator Snow comes in, he will shed more light on that. Yeah. It's welcomed by many of the state, because the man has really taught length and breadth of this region, and he has engaged literally personal engagement with almost all the head of states. Is welcome. The issue is about how to go about it, and also the funding as well. How do you fund it as well? So those were the critical gaps that are not addressed. So it's now considered of his exit in office.
So in terms of our current political and security challenges within the sub-region, what role do you think the ECOWAS Parliament should or can play in defending our democracy and constitutional order?
Yeah, to be honest, security threats and insurgency, terrorism in the Sahel, and the military, you know, takeover in our region is a big challenge, you know, in the region. Like I said, the good governance protocol on good governance, you know, mandate that once a country, you know, experience a takeover, military takeover, you know, you cease to be a member of parliament, you know. And that, like I said, that has really impeded. So it's about the parliament also really helping to sensitize the public, you know, to showcase the dangers associated to military government and the chances that are there if you're under civilian regime. And also, the member of the parliament also should really also stand resolute in holding the government account, because there's no trust and confidence in the system. You know, all of these things, you know, so faces. So it's about the parliament also rising above water to make sure that there's transparency, there's accountability in our governments, and there is also inclusivity as well. And this is a fundamental role that parliament, in its nature as representation and advocacy role, we could really play, not to only sensitize the public, but also making sure that there is no iota of doubt, to restore trust and confidence in our systems, in our governance structures. If we do that, it may go a long way in terms of retarding, if not curtailing, but it will go a long way in terms of reducing the proliferation of insecurity, terrorism, and of course, unconstitutional takeover of government.
So are ECOWAS Parliament's resolutions even taken seriously back home? In the different countries. When I say back home, I mean in the different ECOWAS countries.
Like I said, it's one thing for heads of states, you know, to agree on a protocol. ECOWAS Parliament normally communicates its decision through a resolution to the Commission. So it goes to the Commission, it goes to the Council of Ministers, from Council of Ministers, the head of states and government. So ECOWAS Parliament, this is our forum of communication. We normally give our opinion, a very strong opinion on resolution to pass for the consideration of the head of state and government. So many times it's sailed through, and many times it doesn't. So, however, like I said, it's not legally binding if there is no consequences. So, for instance, if a parliament passed a resolution on X, Y, and Z, and the commission or the heads of state fail to implement it, there are no consequences. So that is why they live at the mercy of the executive, whether to implement or not. There is no severe consequences if you fail to adhere, to the ECOWAS Parliament's resolution or its communication.
So doesn't it weaken the powers of the ECOWAS Parliament? It's the same scenario with the ECOWAS Court of Justice. I mean, they always complain about giving rulings, and they are not respected in the respective countries. Isn't this weakening your powers? I mean, all the efforts we are doing at the ECOWAS Parliament, coming up with good resolutions, yet they are not implemented. You see that as it?
Yeah, one can lose appetite along the way, and it can lead to loss of interest.
Sometimes I see the interest, the agitation in you when you're thinking about issues of happening in the subject.
Yes. You can lose the interest, but however, it takes a political will. Because I represented a speaker in Sierra Leone to represent the parliament in this ECOWAS Court of Justice, their forum, whereby they have really echoed the non-compliance of member states in upholding the ruling of ECOWAS Court of Justice. So it takes a political will for member states. Like, you cannot be a member state, you sign up for a treaty and conventions. The very law that you have agreed upon, you've agreed that we are going to do X, Y, and Z. When it turns otherwise, in your favor, you accept. When it turns otherwise, you say no. So basically, it's all geared towards good leadership and a very strong political will. It takes high degree of commitment, to make sure that regional integration transform, to level a higher height where we all wanted. Because we are clamoring for, before it was ECOWAS of states, but now we are looking for ECOWAS of people, whereby I should be living in Nigeria as if I'm a Nigerian. And Nigeria also should live here as if it's a Nigerian. I mean, Gambian as a Nigerian. So basically, it's about the heads of state and government who sign up for these treaties to respect and also inject some degree of political will.
So is it that because perhaps, these heads of states, they might fear losing that sovereignty if the ECOWAS Parliament, gains more powers?
Anybody who joins international organization, you must accept to let go some degree of sovereignty as well. That is any international organization you join. Like in UN, you must forgo some degree of sovereignty as well, because it comes with its own rules and regulations. So what is important is that the very ideas that you all agree that let's have free movement. This will help us facilitate trade within the ECOWAS region and boost our economic integration. So you cannot also bring some custom laws that really impedes that. When you say, when a good is on transit from Banjul port to Mali, you don't have to stop at Senegal to check those goods when you see a placard that this goods is on transit, because it has been processed here. And you don't also expect that commodity or that goods to pay custom in Senegal, because destination finally is in Mali. So it's about we coming together, harmonize our laws, let them speak the same language. You cannot say, yes, we are operating as a Francophone country, your custom laws in Gambia is not the same as in Senegal. No, once we agree to let go of some of those national laws, to look at the supernatural law that will really help us integrate and to harmonize our law, we must let go of certain provisions that are obtained in our national legislation for the betterment of the entire picture, the regional integration. So that's why I said, if you join an organization, you must let go of some national prides. So, like I said, it deserves level of commitment. It also deserves level of injecting political will.
So why is that national buy-in difficult?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Because people are so stick inward. They thought now, on a normal business transaction, if a good is now transiting my country, I should be able, because they are using my road, they are using my facility, I should be able to get some resources, revenue out of that. But the bigger picture is that if we should impede the movement, the damage it causes on the good, the delay it causes on the delivery date, And also, you might also, the offloading and unloading might also damage, certain products. So basically, we are looking at more revenue aspect, than the entire dream, which is the integration. People are looking at, okay, whatever ECOWAS law is a law, movement on free good and service is a law, but our laws are also our laws. So it's until when we reflect and sit down that, okay, yes, indeed, every country has its own rules and regulation or has its own laws, legislation. But we are looking at the bigger picture here. Any goods destination to a country, apply every law. But any good that is now on re-export trade, on transiting, to make sure that goods move faster in the region, so that at least no region is left behind. Because in West Africa, we have states who are landlocked states. They have their petrol, everything, from other countries, other than neighboring countries. So if we are looking at how do we go as a community, leaving no one behind, we must, at some point, agree to let go some of our national laws for the purpose of the general goods.
I understand Senator Edwin Melvin Snow Jr. Is joining us live from Liberia. Like I said, he is the ECOWAS Parliament's chairman of the Committee on Political Affairs, Peace, Security, and African Peer Review Mechanism. Senator, if you can hear me loud and clear, thank you so much once again for joining us on the program. Okay, he's gone. Honorable, you can continue.
He's gone?
Honorable Veronica Kadisise, if you can hear me, we are discussing ECOWAS Parliament at 25. What's your reflection looking back 25 years of the ECOWAS Parliament?
Thank you very much, and good evening to listeners. Really, 25 years is a grown-up child now. And I can say the formation of ECOWAS made no mistake, because I can say Sierra Leone is a beneficiary within these 25 years. I could remember vividly when there was that the war in Sierra Leone. ECOWAS played a pivotal role in trying to maintain peace in our country, also in Liberia. But I believe the senator will come and touch on that. To me, it has gone a while and tried to bring peace, maintain peace and tranquility in the sub-region. And also, there are so many challenges I can say, but with the unity or the oneness of the sub-region, the member states, it has created some peaceful atmosphere. In as much as we are 15, in the inception, we are 50, there are 15 countries, but now we are left with only 12. And we are still yearning to call our brothers and sisters on board so that we can we can be in the same wagon. But to state overall, as we have heard from the speaker, the deputy speaker, that is the truth and the work of the ECOWAS, in terms of looking into the challenges of the member states. For instance, if there are issues in any country within the member state, members will be sent there to do some fact-finding mission, and when there are elections, they will send observers to go and observe from the ECOWAS region. That is how we operate. It's a continuity, it's a chain work, so that we can see the challenges and how we can help to remedy some of these situations. And I'm happy within these 25 years, we have had the first female woman speaker since the inception of the ECOWAS Parliament. And that is a big bravo to ECOWAS for accepting the fact that women are partners in development, women can do it, women can achieve or do more things. And it was very difficult. People were saying, no, it will not happen. But for the unity and oneness, and as you heard from the Senate, from the Deputy Speaker, it's a rotational thing. And when it comes to Togo, we had to persuade them, to talk to them, to lobby them so that they can give us a woman. And thank God we had a woman. So those are some of the success stories that we can say about the formation of the ECOWAS Parliament. As we have heard from the speaker, as we have heard from the deputy speaker, we have done so much during the extraordinary sessions. And the most important thing that I admire and the unique thing I admire about the ECOWAS Parliament is the rotational. You go to other countries, it's not only, but you go and hold extraordinary things, ordinary sessions, and the other countries. You know, that is the uniqueness. So nobody will say I'm left out. So you can be there, they can do it here, they can do it in the other country, as long as you are within the ECOWAS states. And that is the uniqueness I like about the ECOWAS Parliament.
So where do you think the parliament has fallen short over the years?
I want to say they have fallen short because sometimes, you know, it's a rotational thing and it's a norm. The means of I can say funding and the payment, the low payment, that is where I can say there is a little bit of short. But for the activities, they are always on top of things. They have not got anything. The extraordinary sessions, the localized meetings is on course. So I cannot say they are falling short. The only way I can say is the late payment of levies and non-payment of levies. These are the things I call fall short. But to say the activities, we are on track.
Honorable, do you have anything to add to what Honorable Veronica? By the way, Honorable Veronica is a member of the Sierra Leone's delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament and she's the president of the ECOFIPA. Honorable, you have, it's good to see Honorable Veronica.
Yes, she's not only the president of ECOWAS Parliament, I mean the female parliamentary, but as well the head of the delegation as well.
Exactly.
She is the head of the delegation to ECOWAS Parliament and also the president of the ECOFIPA Female Parliamentary Association Network in ECOWAS Parliament. Of course, she has really touched a point that is so dear to her heart, that is the female representation. And she's part of people who really lobbied, you know, behind those, closed doors, to make sure that at least we have our female representation as well. Like she said, activities are really going on, and the beauty about ECOWAS Parliament is that we make sure that we bring Parliament closer to the people. What do I mean by that? We make sure that our programs are decentralized in member states. Sometimes we can have extraordinary session because the law says we can only hold ordinary session in the city of Abuja. Abuja remains the seat of parliament, of ECOWAS Parliament. But outside those two sessions, we have first and second ordinary session. Outside of those two sessions, we hold delocalized meeting, extraordinary session outside of Abuja to make sure to bring Parliament closer to people, to engage Parliament. And Parliament also normally we are very cognizant of current affairs. Yeah. We normally take some thematic topics to go and discuss. Recently, she was the host of discussing issues about this coup. When this coup become an issue in Sierra Leone, you know, she lobbied that she want a parliamentary advocacy group to come and discuss pertinent issues affecting her youth. I mean, when I say her youth, I mean the youth of the region Sierra Leone, to sensitize them about the dangers associated with this coup, with a very big impact. Really,
and there was a similar one in Guinea and
similar
Liberia
thing in
as
Liberia
well.
Also. Senator Stone also championed and pioneered, you know, lobbied for a parliamentary delegation to be really sent to Liberia to sensitize people about the issue of drug abuse. These are things that are, sporadic in the region. And similarly, Gambia also, we also lobbied to bring issue of illegal migration, because every country you have things that are really peculiar to you, that are really burning issues in your country. We also brought ECOWAS Parliament here to sensitize our youth in issue of illegal migration and how do we take the legal pathway to Europe. Similarly, in Ghana, they also hosted a parliamentary delegation on issue of waste management because of the issue of the way people normally litter the streets, indiscriminate, littering, waste.
I understand. I mean, Senator Edwin Melvin Snow Jr. is now on the line. Honorable, thank you so much for joining us on the program. I mean, I know good internet connection. I mean, we've not been able to connect with you, but it's good to have you once again. I mean, ECOWAS Parliament at 25. What's your assessment?
Thank you very much, Ali. I hope you can hear me this time around.
Yes.
But let me start by thanking the distinguished fourth Deputy Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, um, the Right Honorable Billy Tungara. I think he expanded extremely well on the genesis of the ECOWAS Parliament. I was quite impressed that he could even come up with the names of secretary generals and speakers and all of that from the birth of the parliament. Let me also thank my colleague, my big sister, Honorable Veronica Sese, who also spoke something that is dear to her heart, the female representation in the ECOWAS Parliament. Having said that, yes, I think Honorable Tungara have addressed most of the issues, but notwithstanding, we just need to talk about the migration and going into the supplementary act on the enhancement of the powers of the ECOWAS Parliament. So from the genesis of the Parliament, it was more of just an advisory body, basically just there. You know, we met as a parliament, as a body. We discussed, but there was nothing to forward to the commission. There were no actions to be taken. But interestingly, on 16 December 2016, the head of state signed the supplementary act on the enhancement of powers of the ECOWAS Parliament that have given the Parliament additional role, parliamentary observation mission, like Speaker Tukara mentioned, but more importantly, parliamentary diplomacy. So the Parliament now can go into member state and intervene in parliamentary matters, even sometimes for national issues. We've had that in the Gambia, like Honorable Tungara rightly said. We had that in Sierra Leone. The parliament had that intervention in Liberia. We've had that in Ghana a few months ago, where Deputy Speaker Tungara and the Secretary General were in Ghana. We've had that in Mali. The matter of fact, we had an ECOWAS mission in Mali when a coup took place in Mali, and we have to arrange for the evacuation. So the Parliament also provided oversight on ECOWAS institutions. We do referrals on our treaties and other instruments. We render opinions on the budget of the Parliament. So the Parliament has actually migrated. Are we there yet? Are we fully a parliamentary body, a legislative body? No. Again, Speaker Tungara rightly said the effort, he stated the effort of the Right Honorable Sidi Mohamed Tunis, who was very passionate about that. Unfortunately, during the heat and while we're trying to achieve that goal, then we got locked down with the different military takeovers in our region. With of course Guinea, Conakry, Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, and that affected our work program. We have not been able to hit the balls again, but fortunately, we have a speaker who is a visionary speaker. She's very passionate about leaving a legacy, and I won't just say the speaker, but again, the entire bureau that be very concerned about enhancing the activities of the ECOWAS Parliament. Every time you have a conversation with the speaker, she's concerned about her legacy. And that legacy is how can we fully integrate the ECOWAS Parliament into the day-to-day activities of the people of the community. For example, a few months ago, we're in the Gambia, and we did not just station in Banjul. You know, we got on the ferry, we went across, we interacted with people. When we go to other countries now, it's not more about just sitting in the capital. So the ECOWAS Parliament has truly migrated. And as we celebrate our 25th anniversary, we wouldn't say the glass is half full, but definitely we would say it's also half empty. So we have a glass that is not
So
half
like you
full,
said, I mean,
but not.
Honorable, looking ahead, I mean, what do you think the ECOWAS Parliament should look like in maybe in 2050, maybe when you celebrate your 50 years?
Well, what we envision of the ECOWAS Parliament is a mirror it with the European Parliament. The European Parliament is truly a legislative body. The member state send their members to the European Parliament. They can legislate, and decisions of the European Parliament is bounding on the European Union. We still don't have that in the ECOWAS Parliament yet, but those are some of the things we're looking at. And I think with the willpower of the head of state, because it's truly a political decision, and you have to muster the political will to be able to achieve that. We've not been able to do it. As I said to you, being locked down
Thank you very
with,
much, Senator Snow. I mean, Honorable, I mean, we're running out of time. If you could recommend, as the fourth Deputy Speaker, one bold step, I mean, for the Parliament in the next 5 years, what would it be?
Yeah, like I said, it's just to really continue the legacy that His Excellency Honorable Sidi Tunis Mohammed, of course, with his ally, that is Senator Snow. I think he tore the length and breadth of this region with him. You know, this achievement were not done in his absence. I have to be fair to him. I would also recommend that, you know, we continue pushing and advocate for a direct election representation, so that at least if you are elected directly, you can have some degree of autonomy and also transform, like he said. We are trying to mirror ourselves to European Parliament, EU Parliament, to make sure that we become legislative body. Any law we pass, it can be domesticated in our national law, so that we can, you know, try to smoothen the whole idea of integration.
And finally, to both you, Honorable Veronica and Honorable Snow, I mean, in just under 2 minutes, I mean, what will be your final message as we celebrate ECOWAS Parliament at 25?
Well, for me, my final message is we must continue our effort in taking ECOWAS to the people. Of late, ECOWAS has been not a very good news to our citizens because of the different situations we've had in our region. But again, we are determined to make sure that ECOWAS, the citizens own ECOWAS. We don't have a regional sense of ownership to ECOWAS, and we must see ECOWAS not as a detachment, but as a part of our region.
Honorable Sise, if you are there, what's your message?
Last message is to the member states, you know, to try to be honoring their levies promptly so that activities will be done. And also continue to advocate at the angle of women, because we are yearning for 30% in all fares, so that they can add on the budgets, then so that we allow more people to be in parliament, not for this 30%. We want to see more women in the parliament so that they can help to do things, because right now there are other countries that are still lagging behind to send more women in parliament. So we want to start the advocacy so that they can see and reason the importance of women in politics. So that is what I will say, and I will admonish the other members that if they do that, their prompt payment of their levies, it will help to create more avenue of activities in our country.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sise and Honorable Snow. Honorable Deputy Speaker, back to you finally. I mean, what's your final message as we celebrate ECOWAS Parliament at 25? I know you're planning a big celebration.
Yeah. My message is that for us to have an ECOWAS Parliament of the people, whereby, you know, what matters is the people, and whatever we do is in the best interest of the people, as far as representation is concerned. And long live regional integration, and long live ECOWAS Parliament. And then we look forward in a few weeks to have our Silver Jubilee. I think this is a Silver Jubilee we are about to organize now in the city of Abuja, to make sure that...
Who are you expecting? 25 years?
We're expecting a lot of head of states are coming. And today I was informed that they have delivered a letter to Goodluck Jonathan, and he has agreed to come. And this evening also, they have also delivered a letter to former President, His Excellency Baba Obasanjo, Olusegun Obasanjo, and he'll be coming to host that. So many dignitaries as well. And of course, we're not forgetting our own chairman, heads of state and government, which is the Excellency Julius Maada Bio. We expect him also to be in the, and all other head of states. So we are calling for more inclusive parliament, more inclusive ECOWAS integration, and as well as long live community integration.
Thank you so much. That's Honorable Bilia J. Tunkara, who is the head of the Gambia's delegation at ECOWAS Parliament. But also, the right for Deputy Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament. And other guests were Senator Edwin Melvin Snow Jr., who is the head of the Liabilities Delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament, and also the chair of the Committee on Political Affairs, Peace and Security and African Peer Review Mechanism, who joined us live from Monrovia, and Veronica Kadisise, who is the head of the Sierra Leone's delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament, and also the president of the ECOWAS Female Parliamentarians Association, who was joining us from Freetown. Honorables, thank you so much for being on the program. Quite appreciate it, and I wish you a happy celebration, and we hope to see a more and more inclusive ECOWAS Parliament that truly serve the interests of the people. Well, viewers, from me and the entire production team, thank you so much for watching, and do join me next week. Until then, bye-bye.